So I got an used boat, a Zodiac, made in Canada a long time ago. Um, I set it up with a tank and a battery, which is a large battery for this motor, but I plan to use it with my trolling motor. It's a trolling motor. It's an electric trolling motor. It's probably 60 pounds thrust motor. I have a new one made by C-Max. So that's the reason I'm using such a big battery. But otherwise, it's just a basic inflatable. And so I got this motor here. I bought it from someone who appeared an honest seller who said that this engine was just a new bought in January. So this is 2021 engine. And I thought it kind of odd to see a new engine on the market just a few hours. And I went to his town, like almost 200 kilometers from here, to get the engine, and it was an interesting story that was connected to one of my paragliding mishaps that connected to his property somehow. So anyway, so that's a different story. I can't get into details why I was willing to pay his asking price. Then I thought something must be odd, and he offered. Actually, I did ask to test the engine. I said I'm not going to buy an engine without testing. It's like, who is going to do that? Are you going to buy a car without testing the engine? No, you have to drive test this car. Same thing with the engine. And he prepared a bucket full of water, but he had no way to hold the motor, no support. And I said, you know what, I'm going for my gut feeling. So I trust you, you're not a liar or anything like that. So I know where you are, so you are not hiding anything. So I went with the gut feeling, and I got the engine, I put it in my car, and it was stored in the car onto these two bumps. Okay? And also eager to mount the engine on the transom of this old boat, so I had to mount it properly, solid here, with a plastic cutting board attached to the transom for less water penetration into the old holes. This one had like a few little holes, and the two bolts which I'm going to flip, I think I installed it in the wrong position. So I went to the lake, another 30 kilometers one way, and eager to get this thing tested and go for a short boating ride. And I put the engine in the water, the boat in the water, and I'm trying to pull the starting rope, and it doesn't move. What the heck is going on? And now I'm in a panic mode. I said, okay, I got scammed. I'm fried. So this is a warranty engine. How I'm going to deal with a warranty while the engine appears seized? And also there was oil at the bottom coming from the lower leg. Even now you see lots of oil is coming out. And I thought about the oil. I went to a dealership to get 4-stroke oil. I tested the levels of oil levels in the gearbox, and I smelled this one, and it smelled like engine oil. That's the smell, engine oil. I smelled the gearbox, the lower leg oil, and it smelled tiny, slightly different. And I thought, okay, this must be engine oil, but I have good level where that engine came, where that oil came from. So I went to the dealership to get some 4-stroke oil, and I'm told that it's because of the poor storage. I got some oil out, so I should not be that concerned about. But like I said, yesterday I went on the water, tried to pull this starting rope, pressed the start button on this model. This is an EFI, like electronic fuel injection model with electric start, and I could hear the starter click, trying to do something, but it would not turn over. And that's a big battery. It's not like the battery would drop the voltage. That's a big deep cycle gel type. No, it's not gel, but it's some good quality battery, and fully charged. And I said, oh, the heck is going on? So I have a seized engine. I'm in a hole, at least $2,000 to repair this engine head, and probably even more. So I wrote 2 messages to this guy, and I haven't got back anything from. So I thought, okay, if he's not responding, the engine is seized. So he knew what he was doing, but he didn't care about his reputation, because I know where he's working, what he does, and stuff. So it's a guy who does not care to sell to scam someone, and he doesn't care that his name is in the line or something. His reputation is in the line, I thought. So a real panic. So now you see, but what I did in order to get it working like that, so I went to get a flexible socket. Is 16 millimeter. So I had to learn what type of spark plugs socket I need, because the spark plug sockets I have are larger. And I took one spark plug out. It's kind of brown, dark, and I don't like it. Took the other one, the lower one. It was full of oil. Actually, oil was in the gap, and I said, wow, so much oil in there. Then I thought, okay, let's pull the rope. So before the rope appears, like I had a seized engine. But once I took the spark plugs out, guess what? I pulled the rope, and I could see oil splattering like all over the place, oil. So the lower cylinder was full of oil, and of course it caused some mess here, but that's okay. But at least it's kind of enabled me to pull the rope, which I'm very excited about, because once I clean this mess, and the spark plugs, I'm going to put the spark plugs back in without the coils leads to the spark plugs, because I don't want to fire the engine without having the impeller with water, the water pump impeller, or the intake ports in the water. And yeah, I want to see if I feel some compression here with the spark plugs in, and then go to the water. So I'm going to the water tonight, because that was my plan for this Sunday, to put the boat in the water. So I put the boat on Saturday, which I did, that was also a plan. But Sunday is like was almost a wasted day. I don't want to waste it. So since I'm at it here, I want to show you what's in this engine. So you can read the manual. The manual will give you some details, but here is a real life thing. So fuel filter, spark plugs goes in there. So 2 cylinder, 2 spark plugs, spark plug leads. This looks like a sort of a regulator for the battery charger or something like that. I'm not quite sure. but it has only 4 leads, so high power leads, it tells me something related to a higher current, I'm not sure. And the ignition coils here, what else, the oil filter, what else, the beeper thingy, of course, the spring loaded mechanism with a flywheel, and air filters here. What else? Let me see what I can see here. Okay, so the linkage that goes to the tiller arm, so the throttle adjustment, and in this model you can actually change, you can make you can install a remote control system if you have a central console here. And what else, the crankcase oil filler thingy, then the dipstick for the oil here. So this case is, let me see, can I see? Yeah, it's still alright. So I have to wipe it clean and test again once I got rid of some of the oil in the bottom cylinder. Yeah, then a gear shifter down there. Yeah, so it's a cool and sophisticated mechanism at the same time. So that's kind of a view, and of course some mechanism here. This is to lock and unlock the tilt mechanism. So right now I have this bar that is a shock absorber when I trailer this thing, and there's another red one in case you are curious about that. It locks or kind of makes the motor the motor adjustment left right, make it harder, so you can actually set this one and set the boat to go straight. So you can adjust the tension here. You adjust this lever, the handle, and you set the motor, the whole boat to go on a certain course, keep the same course while you, I don't know, watch TV or something on the boat. Just kidding, but that's kind of what's all about. So you must use these bolts, of course, in case you hit a submerged object or a rock or something. This motor might tilt and might flip over, getting into your boat, injuring passengers while running, so you don't want that. So that's why it's important to have these bolts in place. And I have this locking mechanism here that I keep it tight, but also I lock it with a lock with a chain, because the boat is in a parking lot, and this is the fuel line connection. So I have this thing here that goes this way and connects here. So then also the gear shifter, the engine must be at idle when you shift from forward to neutral and to reverse. So that's again must be in at idle speed, and lanyard must be connected in order to enable the engine electronic. And this is the stop button here, emergency stop. And another thing, it's important to have the engine connected at the battery. That's the manual states. You have to have the engine connected to the battery, otherwise you can damage the starting and charging system. I mean the charging, not the starting, the charging system. And what else? It's important to warm up the engine before you go to full speed or to full open throttle. So warm up the engine, they say about 3 minutes. So that's also my suggestion. I read on the forums about Mercury seized engine problem, when people put the engine on the water, start the engine, and they go full speed. Okay, so that's the Mercury 20 horsepower EFI made in 2021. Bye bye.